Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda is off tonight. Thanks for watching WGXA News at 5:30. Investigators are searching for answers after a man was shot dead in Macon overnight. Bibb County deputies say they were called to a home on Linwood Drive. Inside, they found Dawood Gillian shot. The 28-year-old was declared dead on the scene by the Bibb County Coroner's Office. Now deputies are working to find out what led to the shooting and who pulled the trigger. If you have any information, please call the Sheriff's Office or Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. And a Houston County deputy lost his job this week after he was arrested for a suspected DUI early Monday morning. The Sheriff's Office says a motorist called them to report a drunk driver after seeing him hit a curb. When deputies responded to the area, they found the vehicle matching the caller's description of the intersection of Houston Lake Road and Russell Parkway. Matthew Story was then arrested for driving under the influence, and he was fired on Wednesday. Houston County deputies say you are watching a criminal in action. Investigators say this surveillance video shows a woman stealing a man's wallet after he left it on the counter of the Bonaire Circle K last week. Deputies say she later went on a spending spree using the victim's credit cards. If you can identify her, please call the Houston County Sheriff's Office or Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. Continuing coverage tonight, the Middle Georgia community continues to mourn the loss of Crisp County Deputy Ty Brown, who was killed in the line of duty earlier this week. Brown was shot during a traffic stop on Wednesday. His alleged killer was arrested in Monroe County after a multi-county chase. Today, we spoke to Crisp County Sheriff Billy Hancock as he remembers the 26-year-old deputy who lost his life while serving his community.
Loved his community, loved his job that he was doing. He would walk in that back door, and if I was in the hallway or something, he would stop and come to attention and give me a salute. And what do I need to do to be better, Sheriff? And he just always was working to better himself, better the agency. We saw him spending time with people in the community, getting out of his. He was what everybody wants as a deputy sheriff. Just had nobody around here that didn't like Ty.
A wonderful tribute from the sheriff. And our Gloria Ruth Finney caught up with a childhood friend of Deputy Ty Brown yesterday to hear more about the person that so many are grieving this week.
I always looked forward to practices because I was like, oh yeah, we're going to hang out with Ty and we're going to have fun and the trainings are going to be great.
David Resendez grew up playing soccer with Ty Brown, the Crisp County deputy killed in the line of duty in the early hours after July 4th at just 26 years old. Resendez says he met Brown in middle school at Macon Soccer Club, sharing the same fields and the same coaches through the years. Though on different teams, they were both goalies and were around each other often.
He was just super outgoing, like super bubbly. He was always happy to be here. Every time we got to play against each other, it was like he was a competitor, but he was just so much fun to be around.
Resendez says he and Brown had a lot in common, passionate about soccer, describing him as a fellow dog lover.
I was just shocked because I didn't think it was him. I knew a police officer went through something down there and I was like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine, you know, these things happen. But then I heard it was him and I first couldn't believe it.
According to the GBI, Deputy Brown was checking on a truck on Highway 280 in Cordele when the truck came back stolen. That's when 25-year-old Krishawn Cross is said to have shot Brown before taking his patrol car and fleeing while Crisp County deputies fired shots back at him.
I just taken it back because I didn't believe it was him. I didn't.
The chase ended in Monroe County when their deputies were able to perform a pit maneuver. Cross was arrested on multiple charges. Brown was taken to a hospital, later dying from his injuries.
I think he put his life on the line to protect others. I think he would have gone out that way. He would have liked to gone out protecting other people and doing a service to a community. That sounds like something Ty would do.
You can pay your respects to Brown and his grieving family. A visitation is being held Sunday afternoon from 3 to 5 at Hughes and Wright Funeral Home in Cordele. The funeral will be Monday afternoon at 2 at the Crisp County Middle School Auditorium. Both are open to the public. Mental health has become a focus for county leaders in their efforts to lower crime. In recent weeks, WGXA's Project Macon sat down with a teen who believes mental awareness is the key to lowering violence among the county's youth. She proposed inserting mental health care into the classroom. Well, tonight our Brittany Miller takes that plan to a licensed counselor to find out if it could work.
This is Jasmine Revels.
I know two people that were supposed to graduate with us. They both died the same way. They were shot in the head.
She sat down with Project Macon 2 weeks ago to share her perspective on teen homicides after WGXA uncovered the number of teens killed in Macon nearly tripled in 2022, jumping from 6 to 16.
16 people that I've probably been in the same room as, been in the same space as, may have gone to the same school as.
18-year-old Jasmine believes the solution to the violence lies in mental health and treatment of trauma among those her age and younger.
I know in a lot of African American households, it's kind of a thing that mental illness, it shouldn't exist. But if you're growing up your whole life and every other day you're losing a family member, you know, you're 6 years old and you've already been to 8 funerals, that does damage.
So I took her thoughts to someone who knows a thing or two about mental health, licensed counselor Monica A. Swain.
The voice of mental health. We hear it now, but it's still a whisper.
Swain's been in the profession for 30 years, 15 of those years spent working with thousands of Macon's youth, offering services to those as young as 10.
So many children don't have that parent, that mentor, that person in the community to sit down with and share, like, this is what I'm feeling today, or this is what I've been feeling for the last 5 days.
Swain says it's more than just trauma that can have a lasting impact on kids.
Fear can be silenced. Fear can silence children. Fear can normalize things for children. Domestic violence, substance abuse. If that's all they see, that's all they know.
What Swain is describing, Jasmine knows firsthand, but the teen who was the valedictorian of her class and is going to college on a full scholarship made a choice that Monica Swain says not every child has the courage to make.
Everyone is not going to be her. So what do we have in place? It's not cookie cutter. So what do we have in place to be a hope and momentum in the children that are not her? How do we go out and partner, show up, let them know, not just at an annual event, but on a routine and continuum basis?
Jasmine says the answer is found in the same place where children learn the answers to most things.
We spend most of our time growing up in school, so I think that starting as early as elementary school on up, that students should be taught tools to navigate through the real world.
Tools like coping with anger, fear, triggers, and unpacking trauma. The teen thinks it should be brought to the classroom, making mental health care accessible to everyone, even those who don't know they need it.
I love the idea of that, because otherwise, those kids that are in school, they may not be in an environment at home where their parents are going to follow up and take them to a community event, where they're going to follow up and take them to a private therapist or even an after-school program that may deal with at-risk youth.
And the licensed counselor is challenging the Bibb County School District, along with her colleagues, to make it happen.
Do you think that it's possible?
Everything's possible. Everything's possible.
Reporting for Project Macon, Brittany Miller, WGXA News.
Well, to weather now, and storms are firing up across the mid-state once again on this Friday evening. Meteorologist Ryan Mirando is tracking our next weather maker that could bring the threat of some severe weather. Ryan?
Greg, yeah, I am tracking our next weather maker. It's a cold front that's right now pushing through the northern plains, and that will be pushing into our direction really Sunday night into Monday morning. That brings that threat for severe weather out there right now. Just a few regular thunderstorms, not any severe warned storms right now. Some heavy downpours right now, though, over Washington County. Definitely hearing that thunder over Oconee right now. Some of that blinding rain also. That one strong storm that's been over portions of Jones County has been raining itself out. Still moderate downpours, but most of the lightning has been calming itself out over Milledgeville, down towards Haddock and Gray, and still some rumbles of thunder down in Taylor County right now. Over towards Reynolds, you're definitely getting some of the heavy downpours for right now. And we did get a big thunderstorm that came through downtown, but the rain is beginning to evaporate off the roof. You can see some of those storms there out in the distance. In the past hour, we've had about 137 lightning strikes. Feels like temperatures still up towards 70. We did get a little bit of rain, but really what to expect as we head towards the weekend. Tomorrow is going to be relatively quiet. That cold front doesn't arrive until Sunday night and lingers into Monday morning. That's going to be the day that you want to stay weather aware, as it could bring us the threat for some scattered severe storms. I'll talk about what types of severe weather we could see all coming up in your full forecast. Greg.
Thanks, Ryan. Now's a great time to download that WGXA weather app to stay ahead of any possible bad weather. Ryan's back shortly with your full forecast. It's that time again, Central Georgia, to celebrate a Middle Georgia athlete who's getting it done in the classroom, excelling in sports, and making a difference in their community. Carlos Stevens introduces us to a basketball athlete from East Lawrence High School in Dublin who volunteers with the Salvation Army and hosts food drives and so much more.
Josiah Billups is one of the top players on the court for the East Lawrence Falcons, but he's clutch beyond the court. He's a real game changer for his community. He visits nursing facilities with his church, singing encouraging songs to patients, delivering gift bags. That's not all. He even volunteers for a sneaker drive, food drive, and tutor young children. Okay, by now we all get the picture. Billups is just a difference maker. He says he's inspired to change his community for several reasons, but there's one reason that sticks out to him: the passing of his cousin, whom Billups says died from leukemia.
That just motivated me to be a better person and just make it to the NBA and do it for him, to keep his legacy going.
That's not his only motivation. He says the late, great Kobe Bryant is also his inspiration.
I be on YouTube, I'll watch his motivation speeches every morning.
And Billups has no desire to participate in anything that doesn't propel him towards success.
Street life, you either go die or go to jail.
And with the high standards set from Billups' parents, he knows success is the only option. Billups says his parents doesn't accept any grades less than an A, and those standards have produced greatness on the court, according to his coach, Dwayne Luther.
He's a director. Being a point guard, you have to be an extension of the coach, and that's truly what he is.
And coach believes Billups' mindset will eventually land him an NBA contract one day.
Somebody's gonna see, oh man, I would love to have Josiah Billups on my team.
But Billups believes there's two other people that people shouldn't turn a blind eye to, because he believes they're the reason for his success thus far.
I got two parents in the same household, and that's just a blessing for me.
And that's your game changer of the week. Congrats, Josiah. Central Georgia, keep those nominations coming. Reporting in Dublin, I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA Sports.
Macon has a few karate kids that will be on their way to a major annual championship. Our Brianna Cook chopped up a few moves on her own with the karate instructors.
10 Macon kids will be doing cool moves like that at the World Championship.
Macon will be represented at the annual World Karate Commission World Championships. The young Maconites earned their spot after competing in Detroit several weeks ago. Timothy Conkle, co-owner of New Heights Karate Studio, says they've been working hard to reach this moment.
Our students going to the World Championships and competing, representing Macon, Georgia, of all places, is a dream come true.
With the kids ages ranging from 9 years old to 18, they've worked their way up to being a black belt over the years. Not only have the 10 black belt karate kids made it to the World Championships, but also the co-owners of the Karate Studio.
Yes, ha, yeah, ha, 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 yes, ah!
Yes, ha!
Rissa Kalar, co-owner of the studio, says she wants the kids to remember they can accomplish anything they put their minds to.
Remember that they are already a champion. They already earned that spot. All they have to do is just show everybody else like who they are.
More than 30 countries will compete for the World Championship title and earn gold medals in traditional weapons, forms, extreme forms, sparring, and many more. Every country selects the top qualifying martial artists to represent at the WKC World Championship. Kalar says their doors are always open for more Middle Georgia kids interested in karate, but it is not like the movies.
Kids come in and they think of karate and think Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, superheroes and everything. It's not just about the kicking and punching. They're going to have to learn hard work. They're going to have to learn discipline, respect.
All those attributes have formed the 10 students headed to the championships. The team will continue to train in the coming months in preparation for the World Championship. Conco says win or lose, they will be putting Macon on the map.
This is where I grew up. I'm born and raised in this area, and to be able to travel around the world competing and then bring all that back to a community that means so much to me is it's a life dream, it's a life goal. So we're accomplishing great things.
You can find them kicking it into high gear at the World Championships in October in Orlando.
Reporting in Macon, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
We are tracking our next weather maker, a cold front that'll be pushing through in the second half of the weekend, Sunday night into Monday morning. That does bring the threat for some severe weather. On a scale out of 1 to 5, our entire viewing area is under a 2. This means we could see some scattered storms turn severe. The primary threats will be for large hail or for damaging winds up to about 50 to 60 miles per hour. Tornadoes at this time doesn't look to be a threat. There isn't enough shear in the atmosphere to really get that spin or that rotation. Today, we do have some storms around, none severe right now, just some ordinary thunderstorms producing some heavy downpours and some frequent lightning. Not everyone is seeing the rain. If you're lucky enough to get a storm over top of you to really knock off some of that heat. Some of the storms right now tracking through Jones County, Baldwin County towards Milledgeville and down into Washington County right now. Really some frequent lightning over towards Oconee. These are moving very slowly to the eastward. Sandersville could get a little bit of a downpour here. Harrison moving further into Washington County. And a wider view on satellite and radar, though, showing that this is a cold front that's very weak in energy. That's some storms are firing up, but the really big powerful front is moving over portions of the Midwest right now, and that's what's going to be extending our way Sunday night into Monday morning. That brings that severe threat. The rest of tonight, that way, will be partly cloudy once those storms fire or die off. It'll be seasonable, 72 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow is the better half of the weekend. It's sunny for most of the day, almost rain-free. There could be a stray storm, but most of the day is dry. 95 on Sunday's the day to say weather aware with some gusty thunderstorms in the afternoon with a high of 93 degrees. Most of the morning, though, should stay dry. So this first cold front moves out tomorrow. We're kind of in between two systems, so we're mostly dry, but it's still hot for your Saturday. And as we get towards Sunday, that's when that cold front begins to push our way. Notice really there's not a lot of rain in our area as we get towards Sunday afternoon. Cold fronts this time of the year really have a mind of their own. They can do one thing or another, but the ingredients are there for a few of the storms to be turning severe. And when you factor in the high humidity, the muggy meter up towards muggy, almost sweltering, there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So when we get some of the storms that are firing up, they could drop a tremendous amount of rain in a short amount of time. So we do have a risk for some excessive rainfall or some flash flooding. I'm not going to be expecting widespread, but if you do see any ponding on the roads, remember, turn around, don't drown. It doesn't take a lot of water for your car to really get stuck. So in your 10-day forecast, tomorrow is the better half of the weekend. If you have any plans or things to do outside, Saturday's the better day. You could get away with it maybe Sunday morning as well. It's sunny for most of the day. A stray storm is possible on Saturday with the lowest rain chances. On Sunday, we get some of those gusty thunderstorms around 93 degrees. Stay weather aware. Those could linger around until Monday morning back for the commute to work. 87 degrees. They look to be drying out towards Monday afternoon, but that front's going to be stalled out over top of us. So Tuesday, it's unsettled at times, 93 degrees. Looking towards Wednesday and Thursday, some isolated thunderstorms around with a high of 94 degrees. And Friday, we're back into that summertime scattered thunderstorms with a high of 96. Our average high this time of year is 93. So lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast. Peaks in the excellent category at 6:20 a.m. and good at 7:20 p.m.
NASCAR driver Ross Chastain was in Cordele today to remind folks to protect your melon. It's a safety campaign to make sure you're using your seatbelt when driving. The famous driver, whose family owns a watermelon farm in Crisp County, says it's all about protecting lives.
We can save lives here. If we just save one life this weekend and coming here to the farmers market and doing things around the track, reminding people to use your melon is a no-brainer. You know, it's as simple as a 2-second seatbelt click could save your life, and I want everybody to get home safe after the race, just like I want to.
Chastain is looking to secure his second win of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series at the Quaker State 400 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that's coming up on Sunday night. Former first couple Jimmy and Rosalind Carter are celebrating 77 years of marriage. Jimmy and Rosalind Carter are marking their wedding anniversary today with Quiet Day at their home in Plains. Both former President Carter and the former First Lady are facing health challenges. Mr. Carter has been in hospice since February, and Mrs. Carter has dementia. Their family has not offered any details on their conditions, but say they've both enjoyed their time with each other and their family and friends over the past few months. The Carters are the longest married first couple in American history.
That is so awesome. I'm so happy for them. They really,
Yes.
I feel like that's the ultimate dream, to be able to spend someone together with your whole entire life, 77 years. I can't even fathom how long that is. That's maybe
Wow.
3 times my age.
Well, I'm telling you what, too, and they are the real deal, too. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of people know them in Plains. In
Right.
fact, I know we have a mutual friend. You know, they say the 6 degrees of separation, and she's
Right.
very close to the Carters and says that
Wow.
they are just so loving to each other,
That is
just
so awesome.
as they are loving to other people.
I
So
mean, it
it's
kind of makes
wonderful.
sense because you're so loving, so it kind of connects
Oh, would
everyone.
you stop
It spreads
that?
out.
I don't deserve
Greg is
that, but
amazing.
thank you. You're amazing. Right back at you, buddy. So are all of you amazing. Thanks for watching WGXA News at 5:30. We do invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you there.